Yeah, hey Mark, Ted Johnson. Thanks for taking the time to watch this quick video. I put it together specifically for you based on our conversation today. I'm very, very impressed with you and very impressed with what you've done in regards to setting up your websites and how you market yourself and that sort of thing. And I've got a deep passion for what I do. And I can usually spot a good relationship, if you may, or somebody I can help from a mile off. And so you happen to be one of those people. I think there's something that we can really offer you. And I thought, well, I'll just take this moment. I know that we're going to talk to a partner or something about maybe doing a quick presentation, but thought I'd record it real quick and then you can look at it at your leisure. Anyway, here is your website. And of course, when people first started developing out websites, they put up these grand websites and spent a tremendous amount of money well before when you and I ever got into it. And then things became fairly affordable, and we, through tools like WordPress and some of the other things, have been able to make these things somewhat economical and helpful. But when it comes to developing out a mobile site, you've got to address two different facts that have just come to the forefront. The first one is that now 63% of all web searches are done on mobile devices. And two is visitors are actually 3 times more likely to contact you from going to a mobile website or an app, and I put an asterisk down there, if the visit is a positive experience, than using a website. So if people are going to mobile devices more than they are, if people are using mobile devices more than what they ever have been and more than they're using desktop devices, and they're 3 times more likely to take action based on what they're seeing on a mobile device, it does make sense to make sure that you present yourself in the best possible way. So here's your site. Of course, as we talked about, it's a responsive site. When I look at a mobile site, I ask myself 4 different questions. Is it easy to read and understand? Is it easy to navigate? Does it make an impression? Does it make me feel, wow, this is actually pretty cool? And does it encourage engagement? Well, I took the opportunity to record real quick on a simulator, just some notes, if you may, on about your site, and let me go ahead and play this. The audio is going to be a little bit different than what it is right now, but it's going to give you an idea of what I look at and what I found on that site. So here we go. Hi Mark, this is a quick simulator and just kind of a review of your responsive mobile website. I have it up here on the screen. It's being emulated in an iPhone 6. And basically, as you know, a responsive website just simply takes the information that's on your website and then it reformats it in such a way that it looks more appealing on a mobile device. And I've got to say that your responsive site looks better than most. The information seems to be in a logical format. It's not cluttered. Things do appear to come up quickly, and there's some nice photos and that sort of thing. One of the things I wanted to point out is your menu system up here. Of course, if you click on your menu system, it then brings up all the menus on your website. One of the things that I was having trouble with was if I wanted more information, I was trying to click here until I realized, and this was my own error, but you have to click on the plus sign over here then to get that drop-down menu. And my guess is you would have some people coming in like myself that would be a little bit confused, and maybe if there was a way that you could take that into consideration when this was built out, that might help you out a lot. If I go to, let's say, fishing, and I click here, and I go to steelhead, and then it will start populating the site. Again, this is all your information that you put in. You've done a great job with some nice photos, descriptions. If I book a trip, I can click here, and that wasn't necessarily intuitive for me. I had to scroll all the way down to find to book a trip. It goes to the contact page, and then the contact page brings up a map. Because of where you're located remotely, I don't know how good of an idea it is to have a map here, but people have to scroll through that and then scroll down where they start filling in the information, and then put the information here. So anyway, there's a lot of keystroking, a lot of sliding that somebody has to do. It's a very traditional responsive site. Again, it's better than most, but I wanted to bring this up and just show you some of the things that I was looking at and having a little struggle with when I was going through it. The other thing that I had trouble with was finding a telephone number. If I wanted to call you very quickly off of the site, I don't really see it. Maybe if I come down here, here it is, and then I'd have to write this number down and then go to the site and then call you. So anyway, that's the end of just this quick little overview. Okay, if we go to the next screen, then we have to ask ourselves, is it easy to read? Is it easy to understand? Is it easy to navigate? Well, you've got a beautiful site, a lot of photos. It's really just parroting what's on your website now. The navigation is a little questionable on some of the things, particularly on the menu system, where you have to hit the plus key, and that isn't really an intuitive thing. And then trying to find a phone number and that sort of thing. It does make a pretty good first impression. I don't know if it really encourages engagement at all. But let me have you take a look at something that we mocked up for you this afternoon, and this is a mock-up of what a mobile application could look like if it was developed for you. Again, forgive me for the audio quality here, but I'll click play and you'll get an understanding what we're doing here. Yes, Mark, this is a quick demonstration of maybe what an app could look like for your company. What I've done is I've gone to your website, I pulled off 5 relevant photos and formatted on the screen and put them into an automatic slider. So when a visitor comes in, they'll be able to see different photos that you've selected coming on through. These photos can be edited by you, and you can replace them in and out based on a seasonal basis, however you want to do it. Everything is thumb friendly. You're not having to scroll up and down in the system to get to different places. We have hot buttons for call us. If I wanted to call you, all I have to do is hit the call button and bingo, the phone picks up the phone number and a call is being made. I left the directions in here. Again, I don't know how appropriate that is. You had a map on your system, but that's a directions button, and it'll bring up a Google map based on where your location is. And then the share button. If I click on the share button, it'll automatically bring up an opportunity for me to share your mobile app on either Facebook or Twitter. I can even email it out if I'm doing that. On the bottom row are different functions that we built in. Such as a booking tab. If I click on it, it will automatically bring up a form that I can start filling out with the name, the phone number. This is all custom designed directly for you. We put in the different types of fish that people want to fish for, when they want to fish, how many people in their party, and then that's automatically emailed to you and text message to you when those bookings come in. I have a gallery page that I can click on. The gallery page can be linked into like Flickr, Instagram, many of the other photograph websites out there, and we can automatically upload photos that you put in there. Also in here is a share a photo. This is actually pretty cool. How many times have you been on a boat or out fishing with someone and your client gets a great photo? Well, all they simply have to do is if they have the app on their phone, then go to the share a photo button. It'll bring up their camera roll down here. They select the photo, and that's automatically emailed to you, so you can use it on your website and that sort of thing. An Around Us tab that gives geographic locations and directions to those places. I have a More button and just a myriad of different things that we can place in here. Now this is just a mock-up. I haven't gone through and filled out a lot of this information, but I have something here for our guides, and it brings up then a listing and a thumbnail picture of all the guides. You click on it and it drills down into a description about their talents and their bios, if you may. We also have the fish weight calculator. We can come in here and put in the length and width of a fish or the girth of the fish, and it calculates out the weight and then it records it. The videos that you may be recording, the BC fishing regulations. There's always an updated fishing regulation on the phone. So again, this becomes a gift to somebody that you're letting have the application on their phone, and hopefully they'll use it over and over and over again. So again, this just gives you an idea of the differences between a true mobile application and a responsive website, and I think you can see that the differences are fairly pronounced. So Mark, if we continue to go through and we want to then compare the two, you need to use, or I would use the same sort of questions. Are they easy to read and understand? Was it easy to navigate? Does it make a good first impression? And is there an encouragement for engagement between the two? Remember that when people are now looking for you, they're not necessarily going to your website anymore. 63+% of the time they're going to the mobile version of your website. And again, they're 3 times more likely when they visit that to take some sort of action if you've made that simple enough and intuitive enough for them to take. Now, again, here's the differences on the face page between the two. But if we drill down into it, the real, if you may, the selling point or the advantages of using a mobile application is, in the long run, a couple different things. And one thing is the push messaging. If somebody has an application on their phone through FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, it is permitted for you to send them what's called a push message. And this push message is sort of like a tweet. It has a limitation of 129 characters, but anybody that has the application on their phone would get this message. You can send them out as often as you like. We don't recommend that you send them out more than maybe once a week. But their fishing reports, their holiday reports, their updates on the lodge, they're just lots of things. So if, for instance, you have 500 people with this application on their phone and you're looking to fill a spot in the 1st of August and you've decided to put together a deal, if you may, maybe an extra day or a percentage off or something, and you went to the dashboard and typed in the message that said, we have 1 week available in the month of August. The cost of the trip is discounted by $400. It's going to fill quick. Please give us a call. Then I would imagine out of 500 people that automatically get this message over the top of anything that you're doing, you're probably going to get a phone call from that. But the other thing is just setting up lines of communication. Sending out a weekly fishing report. Hey, we're killing the steelhead, best runs ever, wish you were here. And that's all it has to say. It just reminds them of you and your business. We built into it, as you've seen, functions that you would expect, sort of some of the marketing functions. There's a custom-made home page. There's this More page that has all of the menu items on it. And then what we do and what I do is I work with you on a one-on-one basis to design out what some of the other functionality is that's developed in the that we put into the application to meet the demands and to meet the specifications and what you actually are doing as a business and a lodge. And so, for instance, we wouldn't put in the halibut weight chart in your application unless you were fishing for halibut, and I don't think you are. But we sure would, put in a number of other things that the guys that are fishing the saltwater are not using on their applications. Of course, we have the gallery page and then the book a trip page also that's really pretty cool. But what makes our application a lot different than anybody else's is that we put in functionality for the fishermen that they can use over and over and over again, whether they're at your lodge or just fishing on their own. We put in the updated fishing regulations, or the synopsis. We have the BC regulations that we loaded in, and that's always available to them on their phone. We have a Meet Me page. Now, what lodges are doing with this Meet Me page is they're putting in geo directions to some of the different fishing holes that they may recommend in the area. People can come back and go fishing in specific areas. I don't think I'd put in my hot spots in it, but they're doing that. They're putting in other geolocations. If you have people spending the night in a particular town before coming out to the lodge, they put in restaurants and stores and other points of interest in the area where they're going to be. I've got one lodge in particular up on the Kenai Peninsula that now has over 75, I think, points of interest in his geolocator, and it's really pretty cool the way it works. We also build in a fish identification system, much like what you have on your website, but it's mobile. We have all the different types of salmon, both in their spawning condition and non-spawning condition with photos and descriptions and that sort of thing. This one does show the saltwater fish, the rockfish and the halibut and that sort of thing. And of course, we can either leave that in, because a lot of your fishermen will fish for those types of things, when they're not with you, and it just gives them a great identifier and again, a reason to keep the app on their phone. Off to the right-hand side is our fish weight calculator. Again, this is for salmon and steelhead and trout. You can take a length of the fish and the girth of the fish behind the gills and plug that in, and it calculates out the weight to within 1 pound on an average basis. We can also change around the program to go from pounds to kilograms, is how you will calculate it out. If then you hit the photo button, you can take a photo of the fish right directly from the fish weight calculator, and then the photo can be emailed either to the person that has the phone or maybe to a buddy that they're bragging to. They'll get a picture of the fish, the date and the time, and say, hey, wish you were here, or something like that. Or it's a historical record of the fish they caught. And this not only works around the lodge, it works anywhere in the world that they're fishing. And so it gives them a reason, again, to keep the application on their phone, because it becomes a useful tool while they're fishing, no matter where they're at. When we develop out a custom mobile application, if you were to go to marketingforguides.com and take a look at our packages, when we develop it out, these are the tabs that we include. We include a book a trip tab, the gallery tab, fishing reports, meet me and points of interest, testimonials, videos, newsletter sign up, submit photos, current state fishing synopsis or BC fishing synopsis. We also put in fish recipes. And again, we custom design this around your information. And I know that you've got a lot of great information in your website, and we pull a lot of that information in also. If you'll notice there, it doesn't say our fishing guides. We would include that. Pretty much anything that's on your website we'll include and put into the mobile application. Including also is the Call Us Hot button, the share on Facebook, and then the access to the app dashboard. The app dashboard is really pretty cool. You can go in and update your own information. We show you how to do that. We sort of hold your hand for the first 4 months, and we talk on a weekly basis as we're developing this out. And then after it's developed and approved through Apple and Google, which usually takes 3 to 4 weeks, then we'll spend about 3 months with you on a weekly phone call, just teaching you different ways to use the system. I've also put up a website that has instructional videos that you can go to at any time. And then at the end of the 4 months, you sort of decide. Do you decide to update and keep the app updated yourself, like what you do on your website, or you can have us do it. And we include 12 months worth of hosting and support in the applications when people buy it. And then if you want us to do some of the newsletters work for you and some of the other things, of course, we have a fee for that sort of thing. But the answering simple questions, going in and helping you with different things, is included in the price of the app. You may have seen on some of our other materials that we offer the app currently at a one payment of $997 or 4 payments of $297. I thought when I would send this to you, I'd sweeten the pot a little bit. Really, again, I'd like to do business with you. I think there's a good reason to. I think you'll find that the app will make money for you. At the price of $997, 1 or 2 book trips on it more than pays for it, probably for 5 years, I would think. But to sweeten the pot, I'm willing to go 3 payments of $297, so it basically drops it down to 3 equal payments. That way, it keeps it under $1,000, and then you don't have to spend any more money on it for this year. Anyway, give me a call. Love to talk with you more about this, and go through maybe some of the other details about the application and that sort of thing. So anyway, thanks again, Mark.